when you just face a better team, there really isn't much tactically you can do. I believe in him so much. I am so excited of his potential that I'm using reverse psychology against him. Pause, get 2 meals.
Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H. Double H.
Je suis désolé. Je suis désolé, mon ami. Je suis désolé, mon ami. La vie, la vie, la vie. Je suis désolé, mon ami. La vie, oh, la vie. Je suis désolé, mon ami. Je suis désolé, mon ami. C'est possible. Je pense, c'est pas possible. Mais, Kylian, c'est possible. There's a lot to be said in this video because in this vid, I'm going to talk about the Premier League. I'm going to have to talk about Terry Flowers from the Football Terrace, a colleague of mine. Going to have to talk about levels, talk about players, talk about what fans do to players who've left teams. So I've got some water there and I've got some chocolate. This is from Switzerland, actually. Le chocolat from Le Switzerland. Genève. So, let me start with good. Let me start with an apology because we'll get tactical. Because remember, it's a home of football analysis and everything. Boom. I will get the ball. I don't know before I get there because we will go analytical. But guys, you know how we do. You know how we do. First, we're just gonna flex a little bit. So let's just flex a little bit. Let's just talk, and then we'll go tactical. It's gonna be a long one. Pause. Get 2 meals. I've changed it. Get 2 meals. Come back and then press play. Because I think we will have fun. We'll have fun with this one. So, first, the apology. I assessed the situation. PSG did not have Neymar. They didn't have Cavani. And I really felt that Manchester United tactically would cause PSG issues. I will not be threatened defensively. And when I looked at that first half, the first half of that first half, I could see United winning the game because I could see how dangerous United were on the counter-attack, how they were finding space, and PSG just couldn't figure out how to really get the ball through and break down Manchester United. So, that's too tactical. That's too tactical. Let's flex. I'm sorry. I didn't believe PSG could do this. I think there's a PSG supporter on Twitter. I think his name is called like Evan or Evans or something because he kept on telling me that look, bro, what the hell? But I thought United would win the game, and I still fully, based on what I saw, both teams were, and the and who was out and everything. I still back my decision of backing PSG to win the game, but so of backing United to win the game. So I've got to hold my hands up and say, you know what? No, PSG really surprised me, especially in the second half. I'll get to Kylian. I'm leaving Kylian to last. So so guys, just get your meal. I'm leaving Kylian to last. I'm leaving because but the other thing about Kylian is let me just give you a little hint. I wanna protect him. That's what I want to do. I'm like an overprotective father for Kylian because that's why I put him into tier 2 because I don't want too much. I believe in him so much. I am so excited of his potential that I'm using reverse psychology against him. I'm using reverse psychology because of what he did at the World Cup and just how exciting I am with him. I couldn't give a damn about Messi or Cristiano. Like for me, those guys are irrelevant to me. I know, sorry, For me, those guys, World Cup flops. But the thing about it is that, so I'm trying to protect the prodigy. I'm trying to shield him from the world. So I'll get to Kylian afterwards. But before we get to Kylian, so let's just go deep into the game right now. So first off, with the first half, the game, I saw the blueprints of United winning the game. And again, Lingard, as he's been for United, has been very key. How he was carrying the ball from that position, that kind of number 10 position, and really launching those counterattacks, and his speed. I thought, no, this is going to cause PSG a lot of issues. But the problem was Thiago Silva had a huge game. And I think Thiago Silva really showed big boy defending. He showed grown up to the defending. He showed mature, high tier defending. Because look, Thiago Silva, I think I've got to roll in tier 3, possibly tier 2. But I'm going to roll Thiago Silva into tier 3 right now. And the thing about it was that, and I even said this in the first half, Mbappe's lone strike, it doesn't work. It still doesn't work, but I will get to it afterwards. Because Kylian's position is an attacking left-sided man, and I think some people were saying this, I think it was on ESPN FC or somewhere. Lone striker, you have to be accustomed and good at playing with your back to goal, and it is a different way of playing, as opposed to an attacking wider man where you're giving the ball into space and a lot of your movement is facing towards goal, which is what Mbappe is so good at, and that is where he played for France at the World Cup. So that's the kind of issues and everything that we're dealing with there. So come halftime and everything, I was like, Tuchel, bro, you're a brick. What do you do? I mean, what are you going to do to try and change the course of the game? I mean, and coming into the game, I was insulted Di Maria. I insulted Di Maria. I said, you're not relevant anymore. You're not that guy. He showed a few flashes here and there. I was like, well, whatever. When you're quality, you shut guys like me up. Like, when you have that true quality, and guys like me say you're past it, you're no longer relevant anymore. I appreciated what you did in the past, but you're not relevant anymore. Those true quality guys say, wait a minute, half hope. I don't think you know who I am. And I think you need to put just a tiny, bitty bit of respect onto my name. So, wow. I mean, Di Maria came up clutch, very key, because his corner kick was a thing of beauty. The way he struck it, the call he had on it was real. It was big, And of course, his cross again for Kylian, boom, huge. So I just thought, because remember, the thing about Di Maria was, again, this is another issue. So I get that he previously played for Man United and everything, but this is just where I think some supporters are sick in the head. So there was a moment in the first half where Ashley Young bumped into him. He then fell into the hoardings and could have really dislocated his shoulder, because I've seen those things where you could dislocate your shoulder. So he's clearly in pain. He's not faking it. He's clearly in pain because he got pushed in the hoardings by mistake by Ashley Young. So all the fans are now starting to abuse him, pointing him at everything. I said to myself that that's why when Kimpembe scored, he was so aggressively insulting one of the fans, because they were insulting him through the game. But my thing was that, why were you insulting him? What was the need for you to insult him? I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, unless he insulted Manchester or left Manchester United in a very disrespectful way, why are you disrespectful towards him? So again, that's just something from fans where it doesn't make any sense. And also the whole thing of like, it's just how it is. If a player leaves, we have to show them abuse. No, that's just being flipping stupid. So let me just switch to Man United. Where did this go wrong for them? I think it's two things. There is nothing. It's really one thing. There is nothing Solskjaer tactically did wrong. The only thing I would say is maybe two things. But I think the main thing was, I think Martial should have been played much more centrally. I think Martial and Rashford needed a partner in the middle of the pitch. And I think with Martial and Rashford being played centrally, that have given a lot more options in the sense of the pitch, and just get Shaw and Young just to run the channels up and down. But I think Martial being pushed out so wide left, I think allowed PSG to really isolate that threat and really deal with it, which was expertly dealt with Kimpembe and your boy Thiago Silva. Shout out to Marquinhos, what an amazing game. But I think the overall thing was PSG aren't Cardiff, they're not Huddersfield, they're not Fulham, they're not Burnley. They are far better than these teams. And which is why, people will say, okay, Solskjaer, like, why did he just seem resigned in the second half and everything? Because Solskjaer knew, and like, even when I saw Solskjaer, he knew that we can't win this game. This team is just better than us. There's nothing I can do tactically to change the course of this game. Like, and that's just what I think that's probably something that as a footballer. There are just some of those games in which, this is just the better side. It's the better side. It's the more experienced side. And they've just figured us. Not only have they figured us out, they're just better. Like, when you just face a better team, there really isn't much tactically you can do. Especially when you're like 2-0 down. And it's a two-legged game, because you're like, if we just stay back and defend, then what's the point in turning up? If we now really fully attack and really push forward, it's going to get worse. Because these guys have known that they can defend well against us, and if we leave space in behind, they will rip us apart with the kind of speed and technical ability that they have. I want to talk about Marco. I want to talk about Marco. Now, the thing about Marco is this. Again, he's coming back from injury. He did lose the ball a few times here and there, but the reason why I say Marco is the best central midfield in the world is you have to closely watch what he's doing. Because you have to closely watch what he's doing. This is why I try and educate guys on this channel, where this channel isn't about stats of passes made, goals made, dribbles scored and everything. That's a very kind of archaic way of looking at football. I say, watch the game, sit down and watch the game, and just watch what Marco is doing. Because the thing about Marco is that his mentality is what really makes me appreciate just what the player is. Because the thing about him is, every time he has possession of the ball, he's always looking for something positive to do. In the most dangerous situations, he's always looking at like, boom, ball up, boom, give me the ball, first touch, okay, where is the forward pass? Where is the through ball? Can I give a one touch? He's always trying to make a positive play. And for your central midfielder to have that kind of psychology, it lifts the entire mentality of the team. Because you now know that, wait a minute, this guy isn't passing sideways. He isn't taking the easy pass. He isn't passing backwards. He's always, whether there are 2-3 guys around him, it's a tough position, he's always looking like, boom, if I receive the ball, can I move forward? Can I carry the ball forward? Can I make a forward pass? Can I do a through ball? Can I create an opportunity? And his ball control is so good. His ball control is so good. His center of gravity is so good. It is just an amazing thing to see. And I think, put it this way, I don't know any of my subscribers who play football and who've played in central midfield. Now, if you've ever played football and you play in central midfield, you will appreciate what Marco does. Because if you've not, then it's a bit hard to explain. But once, because again, that was always my position growing up. Like I was always the central midfielder. So being a central midfielder and playing in central midfield, I'm looking at what Marco does. I'm like, boom, nah. That's how you play that position at a high level. That is the way, in an ideological sense, of how to really fully get the best out of the central midfield role position. So also for United, they cannot really have too many qualms within the game. But look, man, I don't have to say that. I still don't believe that Di Maria is that guy. I still don't believe that you can call him relevant or world class. But I've got to give him his props. He showed up tonight in a very, very volatile atmosphere. He showed up, so I've got to give him his props right there. Killian. Now, I want to just give a shout out to my man Terry from the Football Terrace and from UFF. You know, obviously, if you watch UFF or the Football Terrace, you've seen us do a lot of stuff there. Terry said to me that he believes Rashford can somehow get towards Henry's level. And I was like, excuse me? And then he said, you know what, Rashford and Mbappe, they are comparable. He's not too far off Mbappe's level. And that's just where I just feel to say, wait a minute. You compare Rashford to Mbappe? I think the issue with Terry is this, and this is what we discuss. And I actually want to, next time I see him, I actually want to just discuss to him about him. I think because anything that's not the Premier League, he calls foreign. So he just and he admits himself that, he only really watches Premier League. No, he watches Premier League football primarily and only the really big games. So he doesn't really watch like a Barcelona against a Sevilla. He wouldn't watch a PSG Marseille. He wouldn't watch like a Dortmund against Dortmund against Bayern, unless it's like a big massive game in the Champions League. But the key word is that he uses the word foreign. So by him using the word foreign, there's already a kind of disregard of anything outside of the Premier League. And the issue with what has that Rashford has done so well in the Premier League. He's now used his form in the Premier League to now form a worldview where he can now compare him to Mbappe. And I was like, Mbappe is an international caliber player. Mbappe, I believe, is the youngest player to score in consecutive knockout round games in the Champions League when he was for Monaco. They're not comparable. But for me, I was like, okay, fine enough. But then this was a game here. We could say that it was tough tactically for Rashford, but Rashford was non-existent in this game. Like, literally, he was doing his best Casper the Ghost impression. I think like Kylian's G. I want if I could just get the rights and the footage, I want to do an anatomy of a G for it. But let me put it in word form. You've got to understand this. Kylian is not a striker. He's not a lone striker. So he's playing a position that he doesn't really play. But this kid is so talented that he's able to readjust himself and be like, I'm struggling, it's not my position, but let me still try and be effective for my side. The key thing of that goal is his movement, his timing, and the finish. Because what he does, not 99% of footballers cannot do. And the thing about this is that that goal that he scores, that is what seasoned veteran strikers do. Seasoned veteran strikers, that's the goals that they score. So Mbappe was able to track the movement of Di Maria, time his run, be able to get into a position in behind Baye and Lindelof and beautifully finish where De Gea had no chance. And that is why it's a difference between Mbappe and a Rashford. See, Rashford, for me, I've always said that if Rashford reaches his potential, it's going to be a level below the Us and Mbappe. It just will. Like, he will never, ever... Rashford, at his very best, is not touching what Mbappe and the Us are about. Because the Us and Kylian, they're different. They're on a different plane. So I just think for Terry is that, which is my advice to him, is that England does not revolve around the whole world. The British Empire, that's a thing of the past. And the Premier League is not the be-all and an end-all of football. It's an aspect, an important aspect, but it's only an aspect. The football exists beyond it. And I always advise to people that watch football from all sorts, because that's where you have a different kind of flavor of everything that is happening. Because United got schooled. They got schooled. I mean, they got schooled. Because United didn't play badly. That's what people need to understand. That's why you cannot blame Solskjaer that Michael Solskjaer, he got it tactically wrong. The coaching was bad. He didn't make any adjustments. There were no adjustments to be made. They faced a better team. A team who kept the ball well, used the ball well, had defenders with better IQ, and they just use their experience to be able to suss out Manchester United. And I just think that moving from Burnley, Cardiff City, Huddersfield, and so forth to Paris Saint-Germain, PSG with Marquinhos, Verratti, your boy, Thiago Silva, Kylian, Di Maria, that is a massive step up. That is a massive step up. It's a massive level up, you know. And this is why I said to people that in 2019, Man United are one of the biggest brands in the world. One of the biggest marketing brands in the world. Arguably the biggest. But Manchester United are not relevant footballing-wise. In 2019, Manchester United are not relevant for footballing-wise. They're not in the conversation when you talk about elite teams in football. They're not in that conversation. And that's just the reality. And I think this game just showed that, yeah, when we talk about Juventus, PSG, Bayern Munich, throw in Man City, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Man United are not involved. Are not involved in that conversation. They're not involved in that conversation. I think this game. I mean, PSG came in and they beat them 2-0. United didn't get a single G at their crib, and Bill got flipping sense of as well. So I do feel the forfeit rule should be considered. It should just a consideration. You don't have to use it. You don't have to use it. But I would just advise, and I'll just put the card out there that consider using the forfeit rule, because it saves all of us some time. Who knows? Maybe there is a way, because this is football. Anything can happen. But I want to go to Tuchel. I've insulted Tuchel. I insulted him during the game and everything. A key aspect of coaching, and you can ask this to Rafa Benitez during that famous Champions League final, is what you say to your boys at halftime. Those 50 minutes are crucial. And I believe that the PSG that we saw in the second half are very different from the PSG that we saw in the first half. The PSG that we saw in the second half was a team that said, no, we are not letting United touch this ball at all. We are going to play with greater intensity, and take the game to them and completely and totally dominate this entire game and be sharper with our ball movement, sharper with our ball control and how we zip the ball around. And I think that era of superiority, mentally, psychologically, pretty much just ended the game on any chance of Man United getting any cheddar whatsoever in this game. So, yeah, man, like, when you just look around at it, it's just a case of levels. Like, there are levels to this ish, and Man United are clearly just not on the level of PSG. And this is a team without Neymar or Cavani. So even more so, that just shows that, yeah, like, United as a club, I just think that a few more years are needed before they can dance at the big boys table. They cannot be allowed to eat at the big boys table. They can serve food, they can stand near the door in the corridor, then they can't be allowed to sit anywhere near that big boys table. It was a schooling. So for any United fan watching that, you cannot criticize Solskjaer in any way. I think for United, take care of domestic business, see if you can win an FA Cup, secure top 4, and then build for next year for Europe, because it's a building process. And as for PSG, I still don't believe that I still don't see a Champions League winning team there. There are still issues with this team. I just don't understand that they have the kind of sharpness and the kind of refined, finished quality that I see in a Juventus, in a Barcelona, in a Man City, and so forth. But still, it was a huge win. It was still a big statement based on how the odds were shorting and this game was coming up. And even I said, look, man, they ain't going to get anything. But they proved anybody wrong. Big, huge victory. Thanks for watching the video. Now think about becoming a Football Hot patron by pledging an amount each month and then gain access to exclusive content only on the Football Hot patron page. Peace. Head over to the official site at halffootballhot.com or just click over here.